first, or shall I?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So when it comes to leadership,
Just said so.
Thanks.
So one thing I caught in editing is we use that over and over again.
Okay. When it comes to leadership, one of the things I've found to be most helpful for me when I'm running a film set or just a project around the house working with the kids is to be open to everybody else's ideas, and even so much so that if somebody else has an idea that looks like that's going to help our project move forward faster or with more quality, absolutely willing to let them take the lead and fall in and be a full follower.
And then do you take charge again after? Or?
And then, you know, when their idea runs out or we're coming to the next step, then it might be back to me again. And then I'm willing to step in and lead again, and everybody else fall in as followers, and make it a symbiosis. When
Or you can make it.
I like to make it a symbiosis where I'm really open to what other people working on our project are coming up with. They might see things in a different light than I'm seeing it, like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So at the beginning of most projects, whether it's a film job or a backyard project working with the family, I like to tell everybody, okay, this is what I see us doing, but I'm open to anything that you have to say if you think it's going to make it more efficient or more fun.
So one of the things I've found being a teacher and having a team of people work under me at my school, and other projects I've done, being on jury duty, working on stuff around the house, being on painting crews, things like that I've done in my past, is one of the biggest negatives I've found is...
You've been on jury duty?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was the youngest one there, and they elected me the jury foreman.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually did start with a quick story.
Okay.
So my sister told me a story of this story of this meeting they had at the company she works for. And in the meeting, the person running the meeting with 20 people around the table went through and pointed out something that every one of them was doing wrong.
Ouch.
And then at the end had a praise for a couple people here and there, and praised the sales department. And that for me is the opposite of how it is done effectively.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm running my school and have instructors that are doing something I don't like or doing something I like, or students that are doing something, I'll call across the mat, those push-ups are phenomenal. Or, yes, that's exactly how you do it. See what Jamie's doing? Everyone, when you do that, when you kick, you want to kick like that.
Mm.
When you do that math problem, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is you can find that they're doing, and that is exactly right, you call it out publicly so the whole room can hear it. Maybe they're embarrassed, but it's embarrassed in a good way, like, wow. And I've seen kids change completely after doing that once.
Mm.
When I criticize, when I have something that I want to see changed, when I have something that I want to see changed, I don't call that out unless it's an emergency.
Mm.
So instead, I'll make my way over to that person and say, you know what, I really appreciate how hard you're working at that. Praise, correct, praise. But you're doing this slightly wrong. You want to turn a little bit more, or when you're lifting, make sure you don't lift and wrench with your back. And then I'll wait until they do it, and then go, yes, okay, like that. That's how you want to do it. Or maybe they're not quite there. Okay, that's pretty close. Just keep trying that.
Mm.
And there's something about that public praise and private correction model
Mm-hmm.
that is extremely potent.
Mm-hmm. So try that again, shorter.
Yeah. So I have found public praise and private. So in my experience, praising publicly and correcting privately is the most effective model for giving out accolades, encouraging the behavior you want, and discouraging the behavior you don't. Mm-hmm. When I have a class and I see someone doing something that's exactly right, I'll call out across the whole class. Everybody stop what you're doing. Look at what James is doing. Look at those push-ups. Those are phenomenal. Everyone, when you do push-ups, I want you to do push-ups like that. And I've seen it change kids completely
Mhm.
after doing that once. If I'm correcting something, I try to do the opposite. Instead of calling out across the whole class, I instead approach them and quietly look for something to praise. There's this model, praise, correct, praise, that is also kind of a subset of this that is really effective. But if you're going to correct something, it can be helpful to go, you know what, I really like your posture. It's really great, but when you move, you're losing your posture. So when you move, if you can maintain that same posture you have when you're standing, then you'll find it much more effective, I think. And then waiting until they actually do it, or at least try it, and I can give them something authentic to praise and go, you know, that's exactly it, or yep, keep trying, that's really close. And then I can disengage and go back. Okay, that ended, but I think that's good. Do you want to do yours again real quick?
Sure. Do you want to cut on this, or do you want to keep going?
Let's just, it's easier if it's one video.
It
for
is?
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do when I'm leading a job or a family outing or just a simple project with a few buddies is be open to that I'm not the one leading the whole time. That I might have the idea, or I might have called people together, or I might have arranged the schedule, but that at any point in time, if somebody comes up with something that they believe is going to be helpful or speed things up or add more quality to the project, I want to hear from them. And many times over, it works out really, really well. That's it.
Okay, cool.